So glad this movie got an Oscar nomination for Best Screenplay. Please welcome John Magaro. Great to see you. That's for you.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here.
I see no one has touched this water.
You can.
Should I touch it? Why not? It's water. It's healthy.
When I watch that clip, it takes me back to seeing this movie at the Telluride Film Festival, and your character is such a way in for the audience because he's like the new guy, right? And we've all had that experience in our lives where we've been the new person in the situation where we feel the insecurity.
Yep.
Did you have a point of reference for that? Did you have something in your head where you're like, oh, I was that guy?
Every day of my life. Right now, I mean, look at these people backstage. Look at the people who've talked to you guys. I mean, yeah, that's me. Yes.
You know what? Well, I'm thrilled that you're here. And we've been watching you for so many years. Obviously, First Cow, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, was a huge moment for you. But I feel like these last couple of years, I mean, we had Greta Lee here last year for Past Lives.
Greta Lee.
Hello. How great was John in Past Lives?
Thank
and
you.
now I'm halfway through The Agency. I'm a couple episodes behind, but I'm loving the show The Agency that you're in.
Yeah, watch it. If you haven't seen it, these people up front have seen it.
Michael
it's Paramount
Fassbender.
Plus. Not a lot of people have it. I get it. Yeah.
Richard Gere, Michael Fassbender, yourself. It's pretty great. But how would you describe what these last couple of years have been like? I mean, it's just been insane for you.
Well, it's been it's been insane, I think, for everyone in this room. It's been insane. It's an insane time we're living in. Yeah, so First Cow comes out March 13th, 2020. Next week, theaters are shut down. The world shuts down. So, yeah, there's that. Then we went through 2 strikes. So I think it's the resilience of the film industry through the chaos of the last few years has been very inspiring to me. And I've been very lucky to be able to kind of come out of these peaks and valleys of it and continue to make work that I'm proud of. And that's part of it. I don't know. I haven't processed it. It's all. Do you have a couch? We can have a therapy session.
That's a great note for next year, John.
Yeah,
we'll work on that. One of the many
that'd be more interesting.
Yeah,
actors on a couch. You know,
for the gowns.
My mother. And God.
One of the many impressive things about September 5 is just the kind of authenticity of the 1972 of it all. And I know that was very important to Tim Feldbaum, your director, and everybody working with it. What was it like to be in that 1972 world while you were filming?
I'm a nerd, so I like going back in history. Part of the reason I do this, part of the reason I love films is that chance to time travel in a way. I mean, one of the films... My brother always says, the first film that I really seemed to love was Back to the Future. What was that? Oh, yeah, hey. So I spent, well, you like this. I spent about, when I was about 7 years old, I spent a year straight watching that movie every day for a year. And I think just the idea that film can transport us back in time and show us something, a moment in history that changed everything, is really intriguing to me. And I know that that's what we were attempting to do with September 5. We live in this world of hyper-sensationalized media, tragedy just being washed over our back that we forget about instantly until the next one comes along, which is about 5 hours later. And something about going back to that moment was really fascinating to me. And it was a little film, and I like little films. I'm an underdog. I like to be an underdog. I grew up in Cleveland. I don't know what was the underdog city of the world, and I like that. So yeah,
that's good. By the way, my parents, shout out. My parents met in Cleveland, Ohio. So
oh God,
thank God for Cleveland, Ohio.
How did that happen?
Grad school.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not what we're here to talk about, John.
I'd love to talk about that.
Rather, I would like to ask you, because when you watch the clip of that we just showed, it also reminds me of just the tension throughout the entire 95 or so minute runtime of this movie. I'd be curious to know, when you were filming it, did it feel as tense as we do watching it? Or is that all in the editing and the music and everything else?
Yeah, I could lie and say it felt tense, but I'm not going to. I'm an honest person. That was a lot, the editing. And in fact, I got to say, there was definitely a worry. Can you sustain a film about an event happening outside of this world that you don't see any of that, really? And it's about people doing their jobs. But Tim, because of his vision and his clarity in that vision, he was able to capture that. And really, even though we were unsure about that, the script lent itself to that. And we just leaned into that and trusted that the tension would be there. And I think because our ensemble was so committed to being authentic and true to the experience of the people who were in that room, it's one of those lessons where you learn the oddest things can be captivating. The oddest things can be thrilling. And you don't have to play this game of reaching for something you think will be captivating. Life is captivating enough. Yeah.
So now when you're like, yes. So now when you're just home watching TV or watching a live event on TV, are you watching it so differently now?
So differently. I was watching the Super Bowl. Oh, the Super Bowl. Ay, ay, ay. What a terrible, terrible Super Bowl. Go Birds. Go Birds. I imagine Philadelphia is burning down right now, but no, when you watch these events, yes, because I spent two months shadowing at CBS Sunday Football and going to ESPN NBA basketball games behind Madison Square Garden, learning how to call a show. And I mean, you're sitting there on your couch watching these things and you just take it for granted. You know, you go and, you go and take a shit and you go and have a drink and you don't know what's going on. But these people are in this room, laser focused, getting it right, keeping it on air. And it's so inspiring. And I really, because I talked to the real Jeff Mason, which is the guy I play in the film, I needed to get it right. And I'm happy that he thinks I got it right.
You got it right.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. John Magaro. See you September 5.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
Can't leave.
Don't move. Coming up next, I'll stop you. Coming up next from Honora, Mikey Madison.
Hey!
Let's check out a scene from the movie.